along with the remarkable images hypertext was spoken. In the last era before global ecosphere collapsed, the Lost World USGOV tried to implement a planetary rationing of mass available for each citizen subject to own. A ration of mass for creative production rewarded best inventions with best mass energy conversion efficiency. With the conversion of mass to energy and hydrogen fusion being only 0.007%, there was much room for improvement and much potential for better use of planetary mass energy resources. Especially endowed with great potential were the natural remaining mass energy forms and naturally designed structures of the ecosphere of USGOV. 1 ton for personal articles and 2 tons for a dwelling were the standard per capita limit. Research and entrepreneurial mass limits were 3 tons. It was expected that intelligence would transmute fundamental atomic mass and natural system structure intelligence into reduction of entropy through high-quality invention. That brings me to think, Patrick, of God's creative mind. He is the creative and omnipotent thought able to completely overcome entropy so far as to even overcome nothingness. I agree with that. Thought should be able to overcome entropy with high-quality, low-entropy invention of new structures, while nature tends toward the disorganization of entropy and the natural expansion of space-time. Time itself expands outwardly because of entropy. It has a decrease in the compaction mass and black hole as that local yet limited phenomena reduce physical entropy while increasing Shannon entropy or loss of information through the destruction of structure. Efficiency reduces mass weight requisites. Producing articles under the weight limit drove technology forward, invention forward. Yet the available social intellectual resources were few, and the plan unsuccessful at preventing ecosphere collapse though the method was used subsequently on other planets with success. Standard mass and energy per citizen limit formula have been developed and used broadly across the galaxy to help keep thousands of ecospheres viable. The requisite is to increase intellectual individualism, limit mass energy use, and promote mass energy efficiency. Conformable social networks ruled by elites reduce language to use truth value tools for reifying the status quo. Those non-creative, unthoughtful elites and managers are a critical and dampening doom of efforts to save the human cycle. USGOV, like the planet retardant, suffered under cycles of global management, hostile takeovers, and ultimately networks of intellectual entropy regarding physical reality as a phenomenal externality to social reality. When the reduction of existential entropy has started too far in the cycle of ecospheric decline under demographic and anti-individual pressure, saving the lost becomes problematic, anachronism, with the evolution of social determinism, fulfilling phenomenal apocalypse. In the final era of USGOV, a brilliant inventor named Terra Telamon, stimulated by mass versus utility ratios and implicit mass energy weight limits, invented the ultimately effective universal widget before the final collapse. The universal widget's invention occurred after the event horizon of the fall of man passed and reduction of the citizenry to bovine status, digesting the remnant common nutrient grass, actualized simultaneous with Lemmingway, ecosphere collapse, and total war in the cascade of apocalypse. The universal widget disappeared from USGOV. The universal widget embodies connections and forms of all mass energy. All possible actualized forms, from the quantum realm to the steady-state universe, are widgets in themselves. The universe itself may be a form of a widget space-time product. It's not the wonderful widget of Woz, you bet. In the penultimate era of USGOV, exospheric decay, the development of equal economic opportunity for all citizens to increase energy efficiency and reduce mass consumption, marriage was banned for atheist sectarian reasons. Marriage originally was developed to protect childbearing age women from exploitation. That was necessary when economic inequality and low regard for individual civil rights left many vulnerable to extreme privations and victimization. By the final era on USGOV, though, a perfected welfare state and reformed capitalism provided for the medical, food, housing, and transport needs of everyone. Citizens had all of the grass and pasture elite shepherd, slave owner, managers deemed necessary. Dissidents fled to rural planet freed and provided public capital to all inventors and developers that could increase performance to mass energy and production to entropy increase ratios. There were far fewer inventors and producers making claims on public capital in that criterion, and their demands were easily and urgently met. Sex was not politically forbidden on Freed, as few women opted for childbearing. Those that did were not forbidden. Marriage was no longer an economic necessity, with normal reproductive prophylaxis and social economic security. Single citizens were the new normal, and to comply with Christian criteria, many couplers chose to live lives sexually exclusive to the partnership. With strong individual rights, there was no pressure about sexual relations. Terra Telamon was single without a known permanent coupling partner. He had free time to develop the first universal widget that was to change the fate of Universe 1, and fled freed before the breaking wave of apocalypse. An immediate history of Telamon and the universal widget it freed and after is not available in our data store.